Hello and welcome to another episode of Better Together at English with Shinrai Sensei, and today we are going to be going into reflexive pronouns. Now, reflexive pronouns, as the definition that I have written up there says, are intensive pronouns that cannot be taken out of the sentence. When I say they cannot be taken out of the sentence, it's not like there's some, force preventing you from taking those out of the sentence. It's that if you take them out of the sentence's meaning completely changes, right? Whereas in the previous episode, if you'll remember, the intensive pronouns like he tied his shoes himself or I saw an alien myself, stuff like that, really those were just emphasis, right? They just emphasize that guy did it. And they bring attention back to who did it? That guy did it, right? Whereas in these examples that we'll get into here in a moment, if you remove that reflexive pronoun, and just like if you remove the reflexive pronoun, and these are self pronouns, right? Just like the intensive pronoun, these all do with self or selves, so themselves, herself, himself, myself, stuff like that. All of these are self pronouns, just like the regular intensive pronouns, but in this case, the reflexive pronouns change the sentence entirely if you remove them. So, Satomi made herself dinner. Well, if I take the herself out and then this becomes Satomi made dinner, well, that doesn't tell me who she made dinner for or if she made dinner for somebody else. It doesn't tell me any information, right? That completely changes the nature of the sentence. Whereas if I say that she made herself dinner, clearly that means that she was making dinner that she was going to eat all by herself, right? So she was making herself a sandwich and, a sandwich with some salad or something like that, right? That's a one-person meal. Whereas if you say that she made dinner, well, if you're in a group of people, she made dinner would sound like she made dinner for everybody. So Satomi made dinner. Oh, wow, cool. What are we having? Right? Whereas Satomi made herself dinner, in that circumstance, if you're having a conversation with somebody, right, and you guys are all talking about dinner plans, if I say Satomi made dinner, everybody's going to go, cool, what are we having? But if I say Satomi made herself dinner, then the conversation switches from, cool, what are we having, to, oh, what are you having? And also, okay, well, what are we going to do then? Since she's going ahead and she's already got her meal plans, what are we going to do, right? So it completely changes the conversation if you're in conversational English, right? It changes the conversation and the connotations in the conversation. And it completely changes the nature of everything to do with the conversation, right? So, Satomi made dinner versus Satomi made herself dinner completely changes, right? Same with Mirei bought snacks for herself, right? Now, in the intensive pronouns, this would have been Mirei bought snacks herself, or brought snacks herself, which you could remove the herself. But once you throw that for herself, right? Once you throw that for in there, that means that those snacks are her snacks. She's not letting you have any. They're hers, right? So, once again, let's put this into a situation, right? So, we're all going ahead and we're going to have a movie night at a friend's house, right? And there's me, Satomi, Yuma, Mirei, and Nabe, and a few others, right? And we all are going to go over there, and we all have like different things that we're supposed to be bringing, or maybe we're trying to figure out who's going to bring stuff, right? And I say, well, Mirei brought snacks herself. That means she brought the snacks. But if I say Mirei brought snacks for herself, then those are her snacks, and we all need to figure it out. We all need to figure out what snacks we're going to have, right? So it completely changes the nature of the conversation, whereas, the brought snacks herself would mean that, well, she just brought them on her own, right? Yuma bought himself textbooks. Once again, changes the nature of situations. So if I'm looking at Yuma and he's buying textbooks, those textbooks could be for him teaching a class, right? So if I was to buy textbooks, it's for you guys. Or I could say I bought myself textbooks because I have textbooks that are exclusively for myself. But I can have textbooks that are for you guys, and I can have textbooks that are for myself. So Yuma bought himself textbooks. Well, Yuma is buying textbooks for himself. Whereas if you don't have himself in there, if I just block out the himself, right? Well, Yuma bought textbooks. Well, for who? Well, that's where this comes in. For himself, right? So really, if you put a for, let me go ahead and grab a marker. So if you put in here for in all of these examples, really that's what these examples boil down to. So Yuma bought for himself textbooks. It's not proper English to say that, but it is proper to say that in terms of that's what the textbooks are for. That's what the candy is for, or the snacks are for. That's what the dinner is for, right? So it's not proper English. You don't put that for there, but just kind of imagine that it's there, because that's really what you're doing. Once again, just like the intensive pronouns, where you're bringing attention back to the antecedent, right? In the reflexive pronouns, you're not just bringing attention back to the antecedent, you're saying that whatever action is being taken is for the antecedent, right? So the intensive pronoun just brings attention back. Intensive just emphasizes. Antecedent. Reflexive says action is for the antecedent. Right? Let me underscore this. Right? The action is for the antecedent, is exclusively to benefit the antecedent. If I say if I have the intensive pronouns, right, they just bring attention back, right? But a reflexive pronoun says that whatever action is being taken is for the antecedent. The antecedent is the sole beneficiary of the action being taken, or is a group beneficiary. So if it's themselves, right, it's a group. But whoever the antecedent is, the action is for their benefit. Right? All right. Well, I think that should pretty well get through the reflexive pronouns for today. And if you guys have any questions about this, if I made stuff not clear enough, or if something's confusing about it, please leave it in the comment section below. And if you guys want me to cover a specific topic that you might be having difficulty with yourselves, then please, once again, leave it in the comment section, or send it to me on Twitter at ShinraiSensei15. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. Peace.